Hello twin flame friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Charlotte with Happy Twins 1111. Welcome to all my subscribers, new and old. Welcome to all my new viewers. If you've only just found me, you found me on a great day. Don't skip to the timestamps for each pile yet, because I've got a really exciting announcement. And this is big. And you're going to think I'm crazy. I'm still wondering if I'm crazy. But I felt very guided to do this. Well, I was guided to do this. So this morning during my morning meditation, my guides asked me to do this, and I always follow their instructions to the T because they never ever fail me. They always guide me appropriately. But this one, I can't lie, I did hesitate because I have to replace my car soon, so I'm saving hard to make that happen so that I still have a vehicle. But they reassured me that I needed to do this and that the money would somehow find its way back to me. So today, this giveaway, the grand prize is $311. You'll need a PayPal account to receive it if you are the winner. It was meant to be $300, but I rounded it up to 11 because we know that 11 is a very sacred number to us twin friends. So I'm giving away $311. All you have to do to enter is to like this video, comment down below, that's your official entry, and also to subscribe to my channel. If you don't subscribe to my channel, it will be very difficult for me to reach you and announce the winner for you to track back and find out if you're the winner. And this prize, I'm guided, is intended for a very specific person. I don't know who that is, but my guide said that it will reach the right person. I don't know if you're an existing subscriber. I don't know if you're a new viewer. I just know that you're going to be watching this video and that you need this money, and it's for me to give it to you, and also that we need to do this by Friday. So I will be announcing the winner on Friday, and if that's you, you can contact me by email and I will send you the money. So that's it. As I told you, you'd think I was crazy. It is a lot of money, but I'm guided it will find its way back to me. And it's my pleasure to help someone else with whatever it is they needed helping with. So, like the video, comment down below, and please subscribe so that you're going to get that update and the announcement of who's won. Okay, so I've got a big, meaty pick-a-pile reading for you today. I'm going to spend a bit more time on each pile, and we're going to be looking at the connecting divine masculine, divine feminine energies to see what's happening within the connection as a whole. So, as usual, timestamps, decks I'm using, crystals, that's all in the description box and comments below. If you would like to book a private reading with me, you can do that by going to www.happytwins1111.com. If you would like to make some really lovely super duper twinny friends to help support you on this journey, you can find them on my Facebook page. The link is also down below. It's a networking group. It's private and closed, so no one can see that you're in it. And that will help introduce you to other twins on this journey, which we all desperately need that, because it can be really lonely without someone to share it with. Also, please do come and find me on Instagram, Happy Twins 1111. I love Insta. It's really going off with a bang over there. I've been posting mini readings most days. So go and take a look. Okay, let's get this reading on the road, pile 1. I'm using the beautiful Hyde Tarot today for you guys. This is by Dan Francis. This is actually just a prototype, which he very kindly gifted me. He has a Kickstarter campaign running at the moment to produce this tarot deck. You can find that in the description box below, a link for that, and a link to his Instagram. The real deck that's going to get printed has shining holographic sides. It's not quite as basic as this one. It's very sexy. So do go on and check. And Dan is donating a part of his Kickstarter fund to Isabel Hospice, which is a charity that supports people with terminal cancer. He was so moved by the level of care that he received for his father when he lost him last year to cancer, that he felt compelled to give back. So we've all been touched by cancer. It's lovely to know that as well as getting yourself a beautiful tarot deck, you will actually be contributing to a very worthwhile cause. You know, cancer's touched us all, so I'm sure you can all relate to that. Okay, let's get this show on the road, pile 1. As usual, Divine Feminine on the left, Divine Masculine on the right, connecting energies down the centre. And for these readings, we look at past, present and future. Please do remember that the future is never set in stone. Yes, there is an element of fate and destiny. The divine will always have a plan for us, and they will always present opportunities through which we can fulfill that plan, but we always have free will. So, you know, the good thing about being able to peek into the future is that if it's not going exactly how we would like it to, we have time to prepare and change that course. So we always take the future line up with a pinch of salt. So let's have a look. What's happening in your connection right now? Divine Feminine on the left, Divine Masculine on the right. Someone commented the other day that they don't like that I'm gender specific, and I just want to reiterate. The Divine Feminine and Masculine can be either man or woman. You could be a man and represent Divine Feminine energy and vice versa. I will always refer to Divine Feminine as she and Divine Masculine as he, just because it's straightforward and simple. But these energies can relate to any gender. So, you know, they're not gender specific. Okay. I'm going to get all the oracle cards as well out before I start reading. Oh, I had a flyer. Okay. Right, let's get some oracle cards. Oh. Win-win outcome is forecast. That's always a happy card to receive. Hold your vision, Divine Masculine. So remember, Divine Feminine on the left, Divine Masculine on the right, connecting energies down the middle. Yes, and these beautiful cards that I'm using, this is Queen of the Moon Oracle. These were a gift from Kayla at Wicked Virgo. They're absolutely stunning. You can find them on Amazon. Thank you so much, Kayla. If you would like to check out her channel, there is a link to it on my featured channels page. You can find a link to her channel. She's a fabulous twin flame reader. Oh, we got two there, so I'm going to keep them. Let's get another one for the Divine Feminine as well. Okay, so part 1. So the Divine Feminine we've got in this Knight of Swords energy. And this deck is called the Monster. And it features a cockerel, which is actually a masculine symbol, of course. I'm really guided to say that this is a very cocky, forthright energy as well. But the Knight of Swords hasn't learned how to wield the sword effectively. And I feel like this is, even though it's come up in the upright and not the reverse, I'm picking up on some ill-dignified energy for you, Divine Feminine. You need to be very cautious with your words right now. I feel like you've gone into fight mode that there is, you know, this streak of fury in you right now. You're very angry. You're very indignant. You've moved out of your heart space and into this very logical mindset. And it's almost like you've kind of stepped back from the journey somewhat because you're tired and you're annoyed. I don't think your Divine Masculine has been treating you particularly well. And you're thinking, you know, this unconditional love stuff doesn't feel right. You know, does this mean, sorry, let me get this clear. But there's a misunderstanding here. Unconditional love doesn't mean accepting toxic treatment from someone else. You have to love yourself first unconditionally. But there's been big doubt in your journey because of how your masculine's behaved, and you've responded without intending to cause offence, because it's not. We all struggle with this, but you've responded through ego, through your critical factor, you know, through your mental body, not from the heart. So you're feeling pretty angry. I'm picking up on some very cussing words, some very irresponsible use of that sword of communication. In the past, I'm not surprised, because we've got the Seven of Swords here, which is some dark untruth which hasn't been spoken. Some kind of deceit or dishonesty. But this pulled you away from the journey. I feel like you got so tired of waiting for him and so tired of his treatment that perhaps you've gone ahead and started dating somebody else. Maybe you didn't tell him about this, and this is round about the time that he's perhaps come back into your life, come back to speak to you, perhaps even, you know, shared some feelings, and you've already moved on a little bit in some way. So, you know, this guilt that you feel, this fear, this resistance, we've got both of those cards here as well. Both waning moons, which, you know, we're in right now. Sorry, that one's a waxing, I beg your pardon. But there's been some kind of dark untruth or truth not spoken on your part in the past. And this has caused you to step out of the journey, you know, to react with anger, which was a defense mechanism, of course. Your Divine Masculine is beginning to heal. And this is the Three of Swords here. It's called the anemone in this deck, which is a very beautifully fragile flower. It's releasing one petal here. You know, they're not very hardy blooms, these anemones. I always have such problems with that word. But it's appeared in the reverse, which would allow this petal to drift back into place, even if it doesn't reattach. And I'm guided that your Divine Masculine is healing. He's beginning to identify the need to heal. And actually immediately underneath this, we've got the dragonfly, which is the Hanged Man. It's about surrender. And of course, the dragonfly skims the surface of emotion. He's not ready to dive quite in, but he's begun that healing process. And the connecting energy for you two says it gets better. And there are 6 hands here, which is the number of love. And then there is a heart held together by these band-aids. So, you know, things will heal between you. It is going to get better. It is getting better. You need to hang in there. But your Divine Masculine, he is not in the best of places. He's working through some quite significant karma right now with the horn and justice here. And the horn can also be symbolic of awakening, you know, that wake-up call, that hello, I'm here. And I think he's just beginning to understand his own karma and what healing is required. The connecting energies for you two is the Three of Wands reverse. And this is called the fox. You know, the fox is a very cunning, strategic, clever animal. It can also be, what's the word? It's kind of irresponsible in its play, isn't it? You know, it's not unheard of for foxes to go ahead and kill a whole flock of chickens, even though they may only eat one, because they enjoy that process. There's a dark streak to the fox. But with this Three of Wands in reverse, I feel like this is a karmic situation closing out. Obviously, we've got the Three of Swords on the masculine side, which can indicate a love triangle. But I'm feeling that with this being the connecting energy and also this dishonesty that we've picked up from the Divine Feminine, that this pertains to both of you. That this has been the downfall of your connection, certainly in the recent past. There's these kind of love triangles on both sides of the fence. Moving into the present, you know, the Divine Feminine really isn't feeling very balanced at all. We've got the King of Pentacles in reverse. We've got the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. You know, she's very much feeling like she's lost her footing. She's not as abundant as she expected to be. And it could be that this deceit wasn't actually towards her masculine. This could have been deceit that was revealed in another relationship, which is why, you know, this could be massively affecting her practical kind of earthly circumstances with the King of Pentacles and Ten of Pentacles reversed, both of which upright are cards of massive dramatic abundance. But in this case, you know, you're feeling very unstable, feeling very worried about, you know, work, finances, home, all of those kind of things. The boat has been rocked. And of course, these cards are level with this one, which is fear. And in this card, you know, you see, even though it's called fear, there is this glowing light within her. You know, this power center of beautiful light. She's just not tapping into it. And this is what we're saying about being all up in your head, being very logical. That's what she's doing here. The birds and the cage represent that mental clarity, understanding, communication and thought process. But the light, I'm going to bring this closer so you can see it. The light within her actually reveals this beautiful inner person that she's not tapping into, that has its head in its hands because it's being ignored. So you've got to tap into your higher wisdom, because this feeling of fear that you're feeling, that you're experiencing right now, is not real. It's just an illusion. You've always had the power to manifest what you need. Okay? And this ending that you're going through right now serves you. You've got to trust that it's going to be okay. For the Divine Masculine, we've got the Seven of Cups reversed. And for me, this is really about him having made, you know, a choice. You know, it's no longer a case of all choices are on the table. You know, he's stopped monkeying around. This one's called the monkey. And for me, the Seven of Cups is very much about player energy, you know, keeping his options open. But in this, it's reversed. You know, all that monkeying around has come to an end. He knows what he wants. But we've also got the the Three of Pentacles, which can also, you know, we've got three threes here. There's a lot of love triangles, karmic situations indicated, but I feel like in this case, for some of you, this isn't going to be about that. This Three of Pentacles is going to be about working together to restore calm, to restore balance, to restore harmony. We've also got birthing a new age for the Divine Feminine and the crumbling for the Divine Masculine. So even though you're both letting go of something, with the Divine Feminine, this is opening up to allow for a new creation. And this is what I was saying about this ability to manifest. It does say dreaming a new world into being. And that's what you're being called on to do. Stop reflecting outside of you and trying to work this out with your rational, critical mind. It's not going to serve you. You need to go within. You've got to stop ignoring that. You can't make worthwhile decisions through ego. That's what's got you into this mess. You need to go within. Remember, you always have a choice. There are 7 hands on this card. That's what we said about the Seven of Cups, the card of choices. You have a choice too. You need to make one. And look, a win-win outcome is forecast. The Divine Masculine, he's really letting go. The crumbling asks, what are you actually clinging on to? And I feel like, this having come up in the past lineup, that he's ready to let it go. He's ready. That's what this surrendering, the Hangman and Justice, this surrendering karmic card pertains to. He's letting go. And he's finally holding his vision. There's a tremendous amount of self-doubt here. This card features a mirror and this hand grasping the cup, that wish. So, he knows what he wants. He's certainly wishing for it. But he is doubtful that he can have what he wants because good things don't happen to people like him. And by the way, this card's number 11. This one is number 7. The unexpected. So I think this crumbling, these changes he's been going through were unexpected. This decision he's made was unexpected. But in part, he's kind of been guided here spiritually by his own instinct. He's ready to, in this present energy, to release conflict and make change. That's what the Five of Swords is. It's called the knife in this deck. He's ready to speak his truth. He's ready to release conflict. And so are you. This is the connecting energy. So it gets better. The Three of Wands reversed, the Fox, that bringing an end to those 3D games, those mind games, that playing, which I think both of you have contributed to, and to learning to embrace the truth, to relieve the conflict between you, because you can now communicate from a place of honesty. Future. It's called the Parrot, but it's the Queen of Wands. This is about stepping into your power and allowing the death of the ego. It's called the statue in this card because the ego keeps it stuck. It's almost like when we allow this statue to crumble, you're left with the essence of your true self. Your human body is just nothing more than a 3D construct. It houses your soul and your spirit. You're being asked to not only step into your power, but to communicate it to your Divine Masculine, to share with him your spiritual journey and to step back into it and embrace it fully. This is what the truth comes back to. I know you've been doubting. I know you've been worried. I know you're probably annoyed with his karmic situation, or perhaps it's just that you've been bogged down with your own. There's definitely something you are keeping from him or not telling him. There's fear and resistance for you. But this is a really powerful time for you. This is about reinstating balance in your life, turning these King of Pence and Ten of Pence energies upright again. And a win-win outcome is forecast once you can step out of these limiting energies, the fear and resistance energies that you've been feeling. For your Divine Masculine, we've got the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles, the Disguise and the Tiger. And I really feel strongly, and this is a leaf insect, there's clever little insects that actually look like leaves. But I really feel very strongly that he is planning a way forward. He is planning a way forward. He may be slow, he may be steady, but he is holding his vision. He knows what he wants. He's ready for change, unexpected change. This crumbling, this breaking down of the old has allowed him to begin making plans for the future. And of course, you're letting go of the old and doing the same. So actually, both of you are in very similar energies, just for different reasons. The connecting energy is the Moth, the Page of Wands, which is a beautiful new spiritual beginning for both of you. But this is perhaps not revealing the true depths of each of your emotions. So don't be surprised if the communication between you is very casual, very light-hearted, very flirty, fun and banterous. But perhaps this is what you need to leave this conflict and dishonesty behind, just to kind of, pick up from a much more light-hearted place, just to remember why you care for each other, why you're attracted to each other. I feel like it's possibly been a very long time since you two had that physical contact with one another as well. So that's definitely coming for some of you. It may be short-lived, okay, just as a heads up. it may be short-lived because you've each got work to do. That much is very clear. You know, Divine Feminine, you're not in your Empress power yet. You're not in your Empress energy. And your Divine Masculine definitely isn't in his Emperor power. But the two of you are releasing. You're letting go of the old. You're making way for the new. You're releasing conflict between yourselves. And this is a lovely card to come up. This is that promise that it does get better. And he is healing. Okay, but you need to continue with your healing. And you need to have faith in your connection to spirit and realise that you don't have to go through these financial burdens or problems right now. You have a choice. You make the right choice. A win-win outcome is forecast. This is about, you know, trusting in your ability to create a new world, to dream it into being, to manifest it. And I feel like you've lived by these principles for much of your life, but things have taken a scary nosedive and you've become trapped in these self-limiting beliefs. You've forgotten your power. And there is this resistance. It's resistance to him. It's resistance to the journey. I feel that perhaps resistance to spirituality is also indicated. So I'm going to get some more. I'm going to get these oracle cards. This is the Maiden Oracle by Layla and Olive. I don't think I did put a link in the description box for these guys, but if you would like to find them, they are on Instagram. I do follow them on Insta as well. Right, so let's get some more of these. What are you saying to us, Maiden Oracle? What else do these two need to be aware of? So for the Divine Feminine, we've got cut locks. I'm really guided that this is about cutting loose, okay? This is about cutting loose the things that have been blocking you and about, you know, really closing out any karmic cycles that have been holding you back. We've also got slept through the rumour, and it is unpleasant when people talk about you, but you've got to, if you're really bothered by this, if you're being really triggered by this, you've got to remember that it matters not what anyone else thinks of you. The only approval you need is from your higher self. You don't need to please, you know, or impress anybody else. You don't need their approval. So these are the things you need to let go of. You need to cut away that which doesn't serve you and that which has been blocking your forward movement. You know, locks is indicated, and locks for me, you know, it's reminding me of the Samson and Delilah story where she cut off all his she cut off all his hair and left him powerless, but also of cutting away locks which would have previously barred your entry through some kind of door, you know, just cutting away. You don't need to wait for the key, you're ready to move forward. So this is about, you know, really cutting away that which doesn't serve you. I know in the Samson and Delilah story I referenced, I was saying, you know, he lost all his power. But I'm feeling in this instance, you're getting rid of dead weight. You're actually empowering self by removing that which doesn't serve you. And, you know, if this rumour's coming directly as well, you know, if it's the case that someone said, oh my God, you won't believe what so-and-so said about you. You've really got to ask yourself, you know, this is very low vibrational behaviour. Those people that come around saying, by the way, so-and-so said this, so-and-so said that. First of all, you've got to ask why so-and-so felt so comfortable saying this to your supposed friend. Yeah? And that this person who purports to be your friend is nothing more than a malicious gossip determined to get a reaction. So I'm not sure you can trust this so-called rumour mill either. But assuming that you do, then you really need to react to that trigger from a place of dignity and say, you know, why am I allowing these people to disturb my peace of mind? It's nothing to do with anyone else, how you run your life or what decisions you make. So you need to just let that go. The Divine Masculine, we've got lay claim. And, you know, this card features the Sword of Truth. This is very much about him releasing this monkey business and really making a choice with which how to move forward. He's not reached a conclusion about how to do that yet, but he knows that that's what he wants, and he's laying claim to you in this connection. And he's shunning that darkness. He's ready to release that. He's ready to embrace this connection, however unexpected and different it may be. It could be that this wasn't, you know, his usual conduct. It could be that you wouldn't have been someone he would usually choose. It could be that this is completely bypassing his whole life plan. But he's shunning what was. He's ready to move forward and lay claim. The connecting energy here is wept breath. And it's got hemlock as the botanical association to this card. Arthur's saying this is about a release as well. You know, exhaling, breath sustains life. This is a release, this is about letting go. What no longer serves you. For both of you, it's very, very strong. It's about letting go. For him, you know, laying claim to what is, shunning what's dark, letting what doesn't serve him that he was previously clinging to, letting it go. And for you, this is about cutting away the blocks. And as I said, just sleep through the rumor. You don't need to know about it. All right, let's get some more cards from the Queen of the Moon Oracle as well. We love these. What do you need to do to move forward, Divine Feminine? We've got two here. Resilience and abundance. And for Divine Masculine, the path and the masculine, the connecting energy. Self-reflection, isn't that powerful? We've got a mirror here. Okay. So Divine Feminine, you're going to need to be resilient. You've got a lot of, and this is a number 3, this is an Empressy, creative, Divine Feminine colour. You've got to be resilient. I know this feels hard, that you're afraid, you don't want this. I feel like you've really struggled with this connection recently. You feel tired. But this abundance, there's a lot of foxes in this card as well. This adds up to number 11 as well. You know, and this lack of abundance that you've been feeling need not be so. Somehow your abundance is connected to the connection. So this is intended to reassure you about the connection as much as it is to guide you, because you have been wobbling. And as I said, there's a lot of foxes in this. You need to be cunning and strategic about creating your abundance. But above all else, you need to listen to your higher guidance. And you need to be prepared to put in the work and make the changes that need to happen. You know, I feel like you've been shirking away from the responsibility associated with this need for you to have abundance. It may be that you've never had to provide for yourself before, or, you know, you've had a husband to do that, or somehow that this job change is just freaking you out and making you fearful. But you've got to trust that you've got the strength to be able to move forward and do this, to be abundant. For your Divine Masculine, this is number 8, and it's called the Path. And it really reminds me of the 8 of Cups, where they're going on this inner journey. You know, this being here is about to climb in this ladder to another dimension, to journey in order to heal. And we've got the masculine. You know, this is what he's journeying towards. Self-love, his Emperor energy, his masculine power. I don't know if you can see, but in the card there's 2 people. There's a couple in the distance with their back towards us. And this card reminds us that the masculine has to step into its power in his own light before we can have that. You know, union can't happen until you've both healed. And this is definitely a period of self-reflection. This is also a number 8. And you see here this mirror image of these 2 women. you know, in this mirror, and they're kind of in the mirror, they're up to their neck in water. That's emotion. Okay, but one of them is facing forward and the other has their back to them. So it could be that you're not being honest with one another at the moment. Again, that was previously indicated. Or also that self-reflection needs to take place privately and independently, and so therefore to trust that this separation serves you. Okay, I really hope that helps, Pile 1. Please do like, share and subscribe. And of course, if you would like to enter my giveaway, if you didn't watch the intro, you're missing out. Go and watch it. There is a giveaway. Okay. Remember, if you would like to book with me privately, you can do so at my website as happytwins1111.com. You can also find my classes on there. They're selling out super duper fast. So if you'd like to take a class with me, you can also find that information on my website. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you so much. Okay. Pile 2, I've got the Moonchild Tarot for you. Let's see what's going down. What do you need to know? What's happening in your connection at the moment? What the energy is between you and the Divine Masculine? Wow. So I'm going to get the Oracle cards out. As usual, Divine Feminine's on the left, Divine Masculine's on the right. Connecting energies down the centre, and then we're going to do past, present, future. Looking at the future is never set in stone. It's intended only to give you a glimpse into what may come to be. So that if you don't like that, you can make adjustments. Okay, let's get some Oracle cards as well. Wowza, this is mind-blowing. Both of these cards came up in the last pile. I'll get two more. Okay. So, Divine Feminine, part 1. I'm assuming you're the Divine Feminine. Oh. As I said, these readings aren't gender specific. I've just pulled the camera, so let me check I've not. That's better. Okay. So, Divine Feminine, it's almost like you started this journey over. We've got the Fool here, this beautiful new beginning. She's surrounded by these butterflies of change, the pink light of spirit, which incidentally she is also touching this pink star of spirit. And in her hand she holds the all-seeing eye. And this is in her left hand as well, this receiving hand, receiving guidance from spirit, guided by spirit to this new beginning to take that leap of faith. With a trusty, loyal dog or wolf as it appears in this card. You're being called to step into your power fully, to remember that you're good enough. It's a very powerful lineup. Divine Masculine, we have the Sword, which features this gentleman clutching his sword to his chest in a very defensive manner, and these twin forms behind him, out of sight. This expansion, this triangle of light illuminates some of the truth, but he's not turning round to face it. So the Knight of Swords as well is really trying to rationalise the truth. His critical factor is creeping in and dismissing the spiritual aspects of this connection. And he's trying to start over as well. He's also got a new beginning here of all of this pink spiritual light. And it says here, don't let your past hold you back. So he's very determined to move forward as well. Now, the recent past energy, there's definitely been this conflict between you with this Five of Swords. And there's also been a loss of faith, hope or optimism with the Star reversed. You know, we see her here staring at this skull. You know, the Five Swords are placed on the ground. It's almost like she's refusing to engage in conflict, but she's feeling bereft. You know, she was definitely feeling like she may have downed swords, but she's not made progress out of that situation or found a resolution to it in the recent past. It's degraded hope, esteem, trust. And for him, we've got the Five of Cups. You know, there's a lot of mirroring going on here. Both new beginnings. He's got the Five of Cups, that feeling of regret, shame, disappointment. And you can see that even though he's being led towards this new path, these calmer waters, he's rejected that. He's chosen instead to stay in pain. And he's rejected the connection from a spiritual perspective. This ties in with this Knight of Swords. This is the Six of Cups reversed, rejecting the past, rejecting what was, rejecting those nostalgic feelings to begin again. So I feel like these two may have parted company. Both of them are experiencing new beginnings. They're setting out, guided by spirit, on this new journey. And the connecting energy is the Seven of Swords reversed. You know, that's deceit. But the sword is upright now. The sword of truth is upright. The truth is out. And she's holding that moon in her giving hand this time. Truth, intuition. There's definitely been something big go off between you guys. It's caused you to move away from one another in opposite directions. It says here, what is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? And I think this is probably something Divine Feminine. I'm really guided that we've got a very similar card here as well. Here we've got the Divine Feminine with these two twin images behind her that she's not acknowledging. She also has, I'm going to bring these cards closer so you can see. She also has her hands folded tightly across her chest in defense, just like he does, look, clutching that sword of truth, also ignoring the twin connection. So definitely in this recent past, you two have stepped away from one another, avoided one another, avoided the truth. Sorry, this was up here. He's got Lemuria creating heaven on earth, and I really believe that this is what his new beginning is about, is leaving the past behind him and moving forward to create something new. And, you know, if this is... I don't want you to feel disheartened by this, Divine Feminine, because even though he's maybe be rejecting this connection, he's in pain as a result. He's all up in his head, so he's closed off his heart space. He's not letting his heart space hold him back. That's green energy, remember. And but he can't forget. He may think that he can, but of course we know that he can't. So you're really being called to be resilient, Divine Feminine, to step into your Divine Feminine power, to celebrate this Nine of Pentacles, this independence, this self-fulfillment that you have access to. And this, to release the Nine of Swords energy, which of course is anxiety. This is coming up in the reverse. That being left to your own devices is actually a dramatic release of tension. And that you've got the strength to push forward. You are resilient and you are strong. He's got this Queen of Cups energy here. You know, and he's trying very hard, I think, in this present moment to forgive and love himself, regardless of what's gone on, to focus on his own abundance. And this is really interesting because in this, we've got the cups either side. The Queen of Cups normally only has one. And again, this to me indicates some kind of triangle he's stuck in the middle of. But for him, I feel like there's some hope he can kind of make that triangle work. We've got this Page of Wands, very flirty, flighty, sexy energy. So in the present, you may hear from him. You know, he may come in like a firecracker talking some sexy banter, you know, and expecting an abundant reply. We've got a lot of foxes in this card as well, though. So for me, that can indicate some kind of sneakiness. So the future lineup. I mean, the connecting energy in the present is the Knight of Pentacles. Neither party knowing how to move forward in this connection and not actually allowing themselves to think about that, of releasing the need to plan, the need to know, the need to understand, which I think is very liberating for the Divine Feminine, but perhaps not so for the Divine Masculine when he realises things aren't going to work out quite as he had hoped. I really feel like he has moved away from the connection but thinks there is something he can salvage, that he can keep it casual, that he can still get what he needs from it without committing or offering something tangible. The Divine Feminine, you're being asked not to move off the journey, and that doesn't mean that you have to wait for him. It just means, you know, she's got the sword of truth. She's got that balance with these swords here. She's got another sword running the length of her chakras. Okay, she knows what's what. She knows what she needs. She's ready to, you know, embrace transition. But this transition, I'm really guided, needs to be one that keeps you focused on your path. And don't be afraid of speaking your truth and of sharing messages. The Page of Swords indicates that it might actually be, you know, at some point in the future, a good idea to reach out, to cut through the confusion. And there's a lot of pink and purple in this card, so wait until you're divinely guided to share your truth. But the Page of Swords can be fairly cutting. Of course, it's, you know, it is taking yourself down to his level. So you've got to be mindful of that. And the Snow Moon, which is also a number 3 for you, remind you to be pure. And when you think about what snow does, it blankets everything in divine, white, pure light. It covers up what was. You know, she can't see what was. She's fully immersed in this snowy landscape. It gives us a whole bright, vibrant new perspective. It allows us to move past the old and see that new vista. And I feel like this is what you're being guided towards, not to move away from the journey, but to change your perspective of what it must be for you. For him, we've got the King of Pentacles. So, you know, he will be using this time wisely. He is healing. He needed to heal. We've got the Queen of Cups here. We've got the King of Pentacles. We've got Judgment reversed, which means he's perhaps not ready to break that full dark night and embrace awakening, but he is learning to rebalance and to pay attention to the light that's being offered to him. But he's not ready to face judgment. There's too much shame and disappointment and regret. He doesn't want to face judgment because the moment he's feeling like he can put the past behind him and forget about it. You know, the connecting energy here is strength in reversed. But remember, 8 is the number of infinity. It may be the case that your connection feels weakened right now, and that as individuals you feel weakened right now, that you don't know how to move forward. You've stopped looking at that and you're being forced to see this beautiful new vista. And it may feel cold, foreboding or unwelcoming. It might not be the cozy, comfortable view that you've had. But it's okay, it's pure, it represents purity. And you can create something new from this. You know, you're being given the chance to kind of wipe the slate clean. He would like to, but he doesn't have that opportunity. But you're being asked to hold fire on making any major decisions about how to move forward. And again, if you get the opportunity or the guidance, feel free to reach out to him. He's going to reply. He's just running scared right now. Okay, so let's see what else you need to know. What's happening with our Divine Feminine that she's not aware of? Wow, we've got the Fool again. The Tower. So Divine Feminine, for you, we've got Puckered Glass. This is number 22, which of course falls back down to 4. And, you know, puckered glass doesn't allow us to see what's within very accurately. It blocks our viewpoint, which is, you know, this is resonating with this Snow card as well. Lemons also are bitter. You don't need to see the bitterness. You can put a blanket over that. You can contain it within a jar so its energy can't be seen or felt. And to embrace this new beginning with the Fool, to trust that it serves you. For the Divine Masculine, we've got Athena. This is number 38, which is, of course, number 11. For me, this card is about understanding that soul journey, that soul tie cannot be broken. You know, we've also got the 27 card here, which is number 9. It's called a fiery ring. The Campanula. You've got to trust that this karma serves him. This is his trial by fire. Trial by fire. The fiery ring. It will purify your connection. You know, the twin flame connection is within a ring. We use fire to purify and cleanse it. So, you know, this karma serves him. Even though it feels brutal, this Tower energy, which is also number 7, it boils down to. You know, this is what allows that beautiful transformation with the butterflies. It's what allows progress, even though it may burn right now. It's what's going to propel you forward. So what do you need to know to move forward? Peace, and that's inner peace. Peace and surrender. Wow. Look at this. She's sat within the light. She is embracing heaven on earth. She is surrendering to what is. This is number 8. This is number 10. She's surrendering to what is. Add them together, that's balls back down to 9, doesn't it? Independence, self-fulfillment. Find your peace. Work towards surrender. It's what helps you accept what is. We can't change what is. We never had control of this journey. He's got protection and self-love. So that's the second time a self-love card's come up. That's what he has to learn. And sovereignty. Wow. Queen of the Moon, number 5. 4 and 1. So, you know, for him, he's got to master his own protection, which will happen when he begins to vibrate in love. Love is the highest vibration there is. It protects you and your sovereignty. And this is also a number 6. He's got both number 6 cards here. And here he's been carried away by this bird in this nest to start over. He's not ready to be reborn in this current situation. He's got to love himself first. Birds are messengers of spirit, and you can see he's ignoring what's happening there. That he's being carried away, that he's being pushed onto this journey. He's not ready to face it. He's curled up in the fetal position, defensive, because he doesn't love himself. Yeah, there's massive self-worth issues indicated here for him. Sovereignty as a connecting card is so powerful because sovereignty refers to being in full power of your own soul. Now, bearing in mind that twins share a soul, you know, this is sovereignty when two great powers come together and that they are both in control, protected, divinely guided. This is very powerful, and she holds the moon in her hands, that intuition. So as above, so as below. It's a very powerful card. So pile 2, a very confusing set of circumstances for you. But you have to trust that this separation serves you, that you've got your own journey. You need to surrender and accept what is and find that peace. And him moving away from this situation is what allows you to do that and to create that space for self so that can happen. He's got to learn to protect himself without your guidance, without your interference, without your healing, without your input. He's got to learn to love himself. It's only when he loves himself that he can make the right decisions for himself. Yeah? So trust what is, surrender to what is, find your peace. I really hope that helped, part 2. As usual, if you would like a private booking from me, you can go to www.happytwins1111.com. If you skipped and didn't watch the intro, you're missing my big fat giveaway. Go back and watch it. I don't want you to miss out. I'm giving away a massive sum of money. And it could be you that needs it. Go and watch the beginning of the video, you'll understand. Do join me on Facebook. You can find a link to my networking Facebook group. It's a closed and private group that's going to introduce you to lots of lovely twins, help you get the support you need on this journey. You can also join me on Instagram, where I am happytwins1111.com. I do mini readings over there on most days. So I will speak to you guys soon. Thank you so much. Okay. Part 3. Let's see what we've got for you. This is the Holly Simple Tarot. I love the size of this tarot. I have to say, smaller decks really are underrated. So if you're a tarot creator, please, I beg you, I love these little decks. They feel so good in the hand. They're so easy to work with. And, you know, unless your images are super detailed, you don't need a great deal of space. These are perfect. I love the size of them. Really do. Okay, let's go Divine Feminine. You're on the left. Queen of Swords. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune for the Divine Masculine in reverse. He's not finished closing out karma. So we've got Divine Feminine on the left, Masculine on the right, connecting energies down the centre, and then past, present, future. Wow. This is powerful. This is really powerful. Right, let's get some Oracle cards as well for you guys. I'm picking up a lot already. Just going to get another one of these to centre. Picking up big energies to this pile. Okay. Divine Feminine, you're in this Mother of Swords energy, which is, you're seeing clearly. We see this third eye here. It's represented by a bird. These messengers of spirit. You're definitely tapping into your intuition, but you're holding on to that sword of truth. And with these kind of dark lines emanating from the head, I'm feeling that you're pretty annoyed and closed off emotionally at the moment. You're trying to be really pragmatic about how you move forward. You're not allowing your intuition to guide you at the moment. It's like there's this feeling of not fully trusting in the journey or the guidance that you've received pertaining to the journey. You're doubting self and your inner intuition. For Divine Masculine, we've got Wheel of Fortune reversed. And here we see this massive triangle into the dark. And I do think this is about karmic cycles not being closed out. The guidance in the middle, the connecting energy is move on. So it's possible that you two are in separation at the moment, that you're not speaking to one another. I'm really guided as well. There's so many different eyes on this face. And there's she's exhaling hope, but I don't think she understands which perspective is real. And so there's a feeling of needing to part company that both of you are kind of connecting with right now. But underneath that, you've got love and you've got connect. Okay, so the higher guidance is that you need to stay connected, but I feel like both of you are pulling away right now. And in the immediate past energy, we've got the High Priestess in reverse. Again, this is about not trusting the journey, not trusting the guidance, not trusting your sovereignty. And this is number 5. That's about change, because you've got the Ace of Swords here. Holding on to the logical truth. What am I really doing here? I'm all seeing, but what am I really doing here? I feel detached from the reality and the You know, the 3D guidance may contradict the higher guidance you're receiving. For Divine Masculine, we've got the Fool in reverse, and we've got the Two of Cups in reverse. You know, this is a big rejection from both of you. You know, I feel like Divine Feminine is wanting to go it alone, and so is the Divine Masculine. And the Two of Swords, which is the connecting energy in the past, is like, but neither of you is really firmly making that decision. I feel like there's a desire to keep options open, because this decision is born of logic and rationale, not of the heart. And at the heart, you're very connected and in love. But neither of you are accepting or allowing the truth of that. There's complete avoidance here. You know, and we've got sovereignty and wisdom. Sovereignty is about being protected, whole and in control. She is the Queen of the Moon, Queen of intuition. She knows how to care for herself. Perhaps you felt that he was, you know, wobbling you too far out of alignment, compromising your energy somehow. And for him, he feels like he needs to learn more. He's on a mission to balance self, to heal self. He's reaching for that intuition, but not quite grasping it. He's not fully understanding the truth of the situation. But he wants to. The present energies, we've got the Page of Cups reversed. You know, for the Divine Feminine, this is about, you know, really pulling back on any flirty, fun, nice, light-hearted messages and stepping into this Queen of Wands energy. You know, tapping back into the light, using her little radar here to figure out which way she needs to move forward. But I'm picking up a very independent energy from this. But it's a big step up from the Queen of Swords, which is that very kind of cold. You know, this is about embracing her spiritual self and moving back into alignment with this, especially with this new moon in Aries, reassuring that you do need to take action. And I feel like the Queen of Wands is all about action, and this is divinely guided action. So whereas previously in the past, she's not trusted her guidance, she's certainly moving back towards it now. For the masculine, we've got the Moon in reverse. You know, he's not trusting, he's not understanding, he's not connected to his own intuition, as we've become aware. And look at this. Yeah, you see this one eye shining its light into the triangle. So this is the second triangle that's come up on his side. And I'm really feeling like this is why he's not trusting, because he's really trapped in this very limiting situation with a karmic. And that he can't see past it right now. He can't see past that. He doesn't know how. For Judgment, we see this download of spiritual light, and then it's emanating from the heart. But it's quite a dark card in this one. It's a dark energy, and I'm really feeling like, especially with the Moon in reverse, this can indicate depression, anxiety, that he's really bogged down right now. You know, awakening can be very overwhelming. And it says here as well that the energy is gaining momentum. This is purple. This is about, you know, intuition. So I think he's really fearful right now. He's really afraid. He's not trusting his own judgment, and he's not really in a balanced place in terms of what's happening to him spiritually, because I feel like he's been being bombarded with signs and synchronicities, but he can't see past the love triangle he's in. And, you know, this kind of spiritual connection that's happening to him in his eyes, and that is rapidly gaining momentum, has been very overwhelming for him. Divine Feminine, you've got transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level and deep healing. You know, this is a real... And I'm really guided. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my gosh, there's 11. There's 11. 12 if you include the base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, there's 12. So that's the 12 chakras. She is reimbalancing. She's being more deeply connected. Even though this has been difficult, you needed this to happen. You needed this doubt. You needed to step back into your power. You needed this transformation, because we see you releasing that burden here. in the future with this 10 of Wands reversed. You know, that's about letting that burden go. With the world, that cycle coming out to a close, it hasn't quite yet, but you're on your way. You're on your way to the right place. He's got Daughter of Pentacles in reverse. And you can see in this card, you know, there's light coming from his eyes in different directions. He's not sure what to do. Certainly, he's not planning how to move forward. But he feels compelled to rebalance, to release sadness. You know, with this sun and the moon energy, to see the truth of what is. And you can see there's a little teardrop in his eye that's heading down towards the moon, which is contained, holding space with her energy, whereas the masculine energy is expansive. So he's not sure how to move forward, but he's being pushed forward whether he likes it or not. And the connecting energy here is 4 of Cups reversed, which is, you know, upright. It's about not seeing the wider picture. And I feel like both of you have that broader perspective now, even though his is a bit confused and he's not sure which direction to look in. He's certainly getting those downloads and understanding. It says here, tune into the portal of your heart. He's really trying to do that. He's definitely trying to do that. He's just conflicted. So you've got to let this go. The connecting energy in the present is the Tower, and it's not broken yet. You know, it's not been released. Once that's released, this is when Divine Feminine, you're going to experience this transformation and this release of burden, so that this cycle can come to a close and you can have that broader perspective. For Divine Masculine, I feel like he's going to need some time. He's not seeing clearly right now at all. He's got a lot of blocked energy. He's really not sure how to move forward. So let's see what else you're not acknowledging about self in this journey. The Fool, the need for a new beginning. Others' wishes. I don't use reversals in this deck. What are you doing to satisfy others rather than satisfy yourself? Got the Tower. That's the second time it's come up, this time upright. So he needs that Tower moment more than you do. And hissed, remiss. Lily is the card of remembrance. That's the flower that's depicted in this card. In the centre, we've got Clover, prosper, proper. So, you know, Divine Feminine, you need this new beginning. You need to stop caring about what he thinks and making decisions based on what you think he needs or thinks. Right now is the time to really step in and give this time and power to yourself, which I feel like you're already focused on the present with this Queen of Wands energy. You know where you're going. You know what you need to do. The Tower needs to break for him, but actually I feel like for this card to have come up twice, that it's you that has to break the Tower, and this might mean pushing him away temporarily. Yes, there is love underneath this. He wants to stay connected, but he's too confused right now, and you need this time for deep healing and that transformation to take place. You need to focus this journey on self. You know, it's about having a higher perspective and seeing the bigger picture so you can close out your own healing cycles. So stop worrying about him. Yeah, this has to be about you. For him, he needs that Tower moment. And, you know, as I said, lilies are about remembrance. And for this card, history miss. You know, you've got the 2 snakes there coming down, seeing this lady, both symbols of creation. You've got this very number 11 kind of symbol. You know, trust that it may not appear so to him right now, but you're going to come back together. That actually your independence right now is what's going to make you abundant. This is your time to prosper as individuals. This is his time to embrace that soul growth and that dramatic transformation. You already know how to transform. You know how to take care of your own sovereignty. You're taking action. You're welcoming and ready for this transformation. You just need to release the burden of pain so that cycle can close out. But for him, he's going to get dragged forward by this awakening, whether he likes it or not. But he is very confused. He needs this. He needs this shock to the system. So let's get some more for you. Wow. These also came up for pile 2. Oh. Slept through the rumours. Just that, I don't know how that's ended up, but we're going to keep that. So again, don't worry about what others are saying about this connection. It's none of their business. You need to ignore that and release it. It's nothing to do with you. Surrender and peace. This is a number 8 and a number 10 card. You ball that, you add them together, that comes to number 9. This is about you. He's got change. That's come up over the tower. Number 8. And trust, egg moon. That's the number 5. He's got to break free out of that egg himself. Look, he's in this translucent egg with the goose. The goose is a beautiful feminine symbol. It shows that the goose is nurturing him, waiting for him. He doesn't need to see her or communicate with her. He's got to create that trust. He's got to, and this is a thunder moon, over the tower. This is dramatic change that he's got to, embrace for himself. Let's get a connecting one. The unexpected, which shows a couple here. And this is number 8. So I think that reminds you, this is a beautiful affirmation it's the number 7, which is divine. This reminds you that you will always come back together. You even see that they're contained within this ring here, this ring of light. You will always come back together. You need to trust that. You need to trust and believe. Surrender to what is, find your peace. And, surrender is important on this journey. You find surrender through finding that time for peace and your connection to the divine. But you need to give him that time and space to change, to incubate. He's locked in the fetal position here. He's not open or ready to come out and face what is. He's definitely not. Number 5, of course, is a period of transition, of change. And we've got Thunder Moon, big change. It's coming. But as I said, I think you will be the catalyst for this change by surrendering to what is and finding your own peace by taking the focus off him. You're going to create this massive change for not just for yourself, but you're going to, light that path for him to have the same. And you can see in this that this woman is pushing firmly away from the moon, connected to this red cloth, which represents the root chakra, pushing away from the feminine energy in order to deal with those soul wounds, the core wounds. So you've got to allow this moving on. You need to allow it and trust in the unexpected. Trust that you will come back together, that the divine timing and the plan of divine timing can be trusted. I really hope that helps pile 3. Okay, so if you didn't watch my intro, I've got a massive, big, fat giveaway. I'm giving away $300. So, you don't really have to do anything to win it. So go back to the beginning, watch my intro so you understand why. Because there is a specific person that I'm guided. I don't know who you are, but someone needs to receive this money, someone that really needs it. If that's you, if $300 is the exact sum of cash that you've been, trying to manifest, here it is. So go and watch the beginning of the video so you can see how to win. If you'd like to make a private booking with me, you can do that at happytwins1111.com. You can also book classes there with me. So if you're interested in healing yourself, healing others, developing your psychic and intuitive abilities, go and check out my classes on my website too. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon. Right, part 4. I've got the Apparition Tarot for you today. Let's see what we've got for you. And part 4, if you didn't watch the beginning of the video, on the intro I announced a massive giveaway. I'm giving away $300. You don't really have to do a great deal to win it, but there is someone watching this video today, there is a viewer that's been drawn to me today that needs that money, and that might be you. So my guides know who it is, I don't. But go and watch the beginning, watch the intro so you know how to enter. And of course, if you would like a private reading from me, or if you would like to join any of my classes, which are going to help you heal, develop your psychic ability, learn tarot, all that kind of stuff, you can find that on my website as well. It's happytwins1111.com. Right, so let's have a look, see what the cards have got for you today. Divine Feminine, you've got Empress. Divine Masculine's got Ace of Swords. So Divine Feminine's always on the left. Divine Masculine's always on the right, and the connecting energies are always in the middle. I'm going to get the Oracle cards out as well. Oh my goodness, they've got the Emperor over here too. It's very powerful. DF and DM cards both out. Lots of blocked energies though for you too. Okay, I feel really guided that for many of you watching this particular pile, you're actually new to this journey. You're new to this journey. It could be that you've only just realised you're a divine feminine, you're a twin. That won't be for all of you, of course, but I feel very strongly Arthur's saying that there are many of you here that are new to this journey. So I'm going to keep that in mind while I'm reading this. As I say, it won't apply to all of you. So I'm going to get some Oracle cards as well. We had that for the last one. Love, movement. Let's get one for the connecting energies as well. It gets better. Lots of syncs in today's piles, guys. That's why I love using the same decks. I find it so interesting, pardon me, to do that comparison. Meditate and contemplate. Your dreams need a practical plan. Nourishment and release. Trust your path. Don't dim to fit in. Okay, Divine Feminine. I feel like this Divine Feminine is torn at the moment because she knows she's a Divine Feminine. She really wants to be in her power. I feel that you have moments of overflowing with love for your DM. And then it kind of shrinks back in. You kind of rein it back in because there's this fear of moving forward here. That you're not fully trusting in this journey. The Divine Masculine, he's got this Eight of Swords, which is being, really trapped by his own ideas, perception, limited perception. He doesn't realise that what is. And I feel like there's been a lot of dramatic change and movement around him lately, which has really confused the issue. But both of you are healing right now as well. And this card in the middle does reassure us it will get better. So even though you're both, I feel like the Divine Feminine swings out of being in her power. You may have recently experienced an awakening Divine Feminine where you just feel on top of the world, but sometimes that feeling dissipates and you wonder where it's gone. For Divine Masculine, he's really in a very practical, kind of logical mindset and trapped by those very limiting ideas about how things are. Divine Feminine, you're being asked to meditate and contemplate and get in touch with your spiritual self, your own higher intuition, your own guidance. This is new moon in Pisces, which of course is the sign that knows. Certainly in the past, I feel like your plans may have been foiled due to, we've got the Knight of Wands in reverse here. This is a feeling of not being able to get where we needed to get, possibly with a King of Pentacles reversed due to lack of funds, lack of financial stability. But for the Divine Masculine, he may not be feeling his best. This is the Nine of Cups reversed. There's a distinct lack of self-worth and self-trust in this, but he's also got the Emperor card, which I do feel is very much about him being in control right now of not just what's happening between you, but of his own life. There's a need for him to, and we've got this Taurus energy here with this full moon in Taurus. The connecting energy is the Chariot, which is about rushing forward and although this card is very interesting, look at this. I've never noticed this. In this Chariot, you see this is either a crack in what is, or it's thunder and lightning, isn't it? It's a bolt of something, it's something breaking, and they're each moving in different directions, and this one has a third party, which he's not quite ready to let go of. So certainly I feel like in this case, and the King of Pentacles can represent a husband, so it's quite possible that the divine feminine wasn't able to move forward because she wasn't able to release a partner. It could be that it was the divine masculine that wasn't able to release a partner, but he certainly didn't want to be on his own. He was not trusting self, and he's the one that wants to release. And this is also a number 9. The divine feminine, we've got nourishment, number 7, embracing the bountiful, universal joy, love, everything that's kind of shared. So, this is quite a confusing set of circumstances. One of you needs to release something, and there's certainly this coming together in the recent past hasn't worked. The masculine is trying to stay in control because he's very confused, and this fast forward movement has very much derailed and disabled him. He's thinking he needs a practical plan, whereas what he needs to do, of course, is to go with the flow. Now, in the current energies, we've got the 3 of Pentacles reversed, we've got the moon reversed for the divine feminine. So this very much could be letting go of the partner. But this could also mean letting go of work, letting go of, it's either a love triangle, and the 3 of Pentacles really is the love triangle, or it's releasing work which no longer serves us, or the need to. But with a moon in reverse, again, you're not trusting the way forward. You're not trusting those steps in the dark. You're not tapped into your higher intuition and your divine feminine powers, which is why you're being asked to meditate, to go within, to tap into that, to take advantage of that nourishment that you have access to. The divine masculine, this card is about healing, but it's also about self-harm. Underneath it, we've got all these shells, water, this depth of emotion, the yellow of being triggered by the truth, the emotional truth, and the pain he's suffered as a result of that. This is a massive progression from the 8, but it's also a desire to heal from that and to close out that cycle. We've got the 2 of Pentacles on his side. Whereas it's the 3 of Pentacles on her side, the 2 of Pentacles, which is such a twinny card for me anyway, but in this card we have the magnets, we've got the Pentacles of protection, the 2 pillars, the candles, which look like the number 11, and then, of course, these 2 apples. But, that magnetism, that earthly magnetism that's displayed in this card is very, very twinny. So I do feel like actually it could be the divine feminine here that is the one that's trying to release a karmic situation where it's possible, he's in a lot of pain as a result of this connection, and he's trying to stay in control and release her. And it's saying don't dim to fit in. He's in this card, you see this woman covering her eyes, but she still sees with her third eye. He may not want to see. He's trying to cover things up because I feel like he's in too much pain to want to acknowledge the truth of what's happening. And of course, the connecting energy here is the 8 of Cups reversed. That's neither of you taking that inner healing journey seriously, neither of you going within to really discern the truth and find out a way forward. I feel in part this divine feminine doesn't want to take responsibility for her karmic situation. She's afraid to move away from that. But I do see that that's what she's going to be doing in the future. I feel there's been a resistance to this so far. She's been afraid of going it alone, afraid of releasing that stability, that security. Also worried that this might just be a flash in the pan, kind of really quick, casual arrangement. But you've got to trust your path. It says here, if you knew that you would be supported, what would you do? If you knew the universe has your back, and it does, what would you do? You know, with this Ten of Wands, that's about releasing the burden. And with the Ace of Cups, embracing self-love, embracing a beautiful, loving new beginning. This is coming up in your future, you know. So this highlights that when you release that which you thought you had, you know, which you've been afraid to, that you've actually got this abundant new start waiting for you, this emotionally abundant new start. The Divine Masculine, you know, he may have really stepped away from this connection in terms of communication, and he's feeling pretty powerless as well with this Magician reversed. I feel like he just doesn't know how to move forward with this anymore. He's in a lot of pain, and neither party is surrendering to what is, with this Hanged Man as the connecting energy. You know, upright, we see this boat setting down anchor, trying to achieve some stability so that they can, you know, surrender to the divine, to the divine plan. But there's a reluctance for both parties to do this, and no wonder. There's, you know, certainly for the Divine Feminine, there's a dramatic lack of trust, a lack of trust in the journey, and you're being asked to trust it, but right now you're not. You know, there's big fear here. And for the Divine Masculine, he just wants to stay in control. He already feels like he's out of his depth with this. He's not in control anymore. He's certainly hurting. And neither of you in this future lineup wants to surrender to what is. I feel like you're both very defensive and protective of your heart, and afraid of what may come to be if you kind of make these changes. All right, let's see what else you're not acknowledging about yourself. Okay, Divine Feminine. You've got to trust. You've got the two snakes here, symbols of creation. They're over this arch, which very much looks like a number 11 to me. It's called Hit and Miss. And this is about the lily, which is the flower of remembrance. Whereas your DM has fear of being forgotten. And just the one snake leading up to this light. So, you know, you two, you know, you're afraid of missing out and he's afraid of being forgotten. You need to communicate honestly with one another. I feel like there's a real need for a really honest conversation. This is what's been missing in your connection. And that neither of you is bold enough to have it because you're both so afraid of rejection. We've got below the robe here, which is the iris. This is really about getting below the surface and speaking your truth. You know, the iris, of course, grows from a very large root system. It's called a tuber that sits underground, and it has this massive root system. And I feel like this is what this is about. This is about getting to the root, to the heart of the matter, to going below the surface, to dig out the truth and to communicate that. Because your masculine really is in a lot of pain. This is wept breath. This is just him not knowing how to move forward. And the connecting energy here is called drawn and tripled. And of course, 3 is the number of the Empress of Divine Feminine power. It's also the number of creation. Everything you send out comes back threefold. That's a really important message that's coming through the law of 3. Threefold law. You know, whatever energy you're sending out is going to come back. So you've got to make sure that it's from a good place. There's a passionate new beginning waiting for you to, if only you could have an honest conversation. Let's get some more clarity on this. Wow. Man, this card has come up in 3 piles. Surrender and boundaries. The Divine Feminine. resistance and the void for the masculine. Pleasure. So that's come over that passionate card. Divine Feminine, you know, surrender is a big word in this journey. You know, we talk about surrender and acceptance. To surrender means to allow what is, to no longer feel the need to be in control. And I feel like with you, Divine Feminine, this isn't just about surrendering and accepting this journey, this path with him. It's not just about surrendering and accepting the twin flame connection. It's about surrendering and accepting to all of what is. You can't control everything. And there's also something about coming to terms with what is in your current life. Twin aside, I feel like you've been going so hard and long at this that you don't want to let it go. You don't want to accept, surrender to the fact it doesn't serve you. It's not what you thought it was. You feel like you're so invested you can't give up now. But you're being called to surrender, to let it go. And this is another number 3 card. And it's called Boundaries. But she's in this bubble and she can't see out. But there's this flower, and I do believe it is a water lily, that's smashing, or, you know, creating an opening within the bubble. And for me, this is actually saying, you know, your boundaries don't always serve you. They don't always serve you. It's time to release these boundaries. I'm feeling this is a block of the heart. I'm feeling this is a fear of letting go, of letting people in with you. You know, quite often I would interpret this card as having boundaries to keep that which doesn't serve you away. But for you, I feel it's the opposite. I feel that you've built barriers that don't serve you, that keep everything that is good away, because it feels much safer and less risky to do that. You know, he is fighting resistance to spirit. And I do feel like this in part is why he's struggling. I do think he's been plunged into this dark night of the soul, the void. Nothing can happen during the void. Yeah, there is no action. This is a period of rest, contemplation and healing. You know, the dark moon, the dark night. But he's resisting, which is why he's probably stuck there. So, you know, there's certainly no activity probably from either of you. As I said, you're both too afraid to step forward. But the combined card here is the connecting energy is pleasure, which adds up to number 9. And there's a lot of butterflies in this card. There's a lot of transformation going on here. For me, this is embrace transformation. Look at the light, the way it swirls around us. Surrender to your own peace, pleasure and gain. Number 9 is an independent energy. This is about releasing the transformation and light within, of finding that pleasure within self, which may give you the impetus and the confidence to move forward together. But right now, this period of separation does serve you, but you do need to have a chat. I feel like that would be really beneficial should the opportunity present itself, because your boundaries, Divine Feminine, are definitely too robust. I hope that helps. That was quite a powerful... I feel like all the readings have been really intense today. Please do like, subscribe, share, comment down below. If you'd like to book a private reading, as usual, you can find that on my website. So thank you so much, guys. It's always a joy. It's always a joy to serve you in this way. I love getting your feedback. Please do comment and let me know if this resonates or not. And if you are struggling, I'm sending you lots of love and light today, hoping that your day, your week, your month, or even your year gets a whole lot better. And we're all in the same boat, remember. I know this isn't an easy ride, but we're all ascending together. We're all here to help one another. I'm certainly here to help you. And I will catch up with you guys again next time. Don't forget to go check out my giveaway. Lots of love.